Deep in the tropical rainforests of Asia lives a majestic assortment of orchids. They seem to be nothing but harmless blossoms. But look closer. This beauty is hiding a deadly, stealthy killer. This is the orchid mantis. While this praying mantis can blend with green leaves to ambush prey, the orchid mantis has taken it up a notch. Known as aggressive mimicry, it's the only insect known to disguise itself as a flower, which actually lures prey. And the way it works is pure ninja stealth. The mantis imitates the texture and color of the orchid's petals, which attracts insects who think this is a harmless flower to pollinate. To keep up the charade and avoid detection, it remains as still as possible, rotating only its head to get a better look at prey. While the orchid mantis has a large appetite and eats an array of insects, it is a selective hunter. So patience is a key part of the orchid's stealthy strategy. It's not going to blow its cover for this sapsucker. Those sticky threads would be unpleasant to eat. But this moth is ripe for the picking. It's using its front legs, which are covered in dagger-like spines, to snare the moth and stake it down. The ninja disguise is so successful, scientists believe the orchid mantis is better at attracting pollinator insects than actual orchids. Who would have thought such a beauty could be so beastly?
This walking, sniffing ball of spines is an echidna. It's a mother on a mission. She's hunting for ants and termites. To find them underground or under wood, she uses her strong sense of smell and another, weirder sense. Studies suggest that special cells in her beak are sensitive to the electromagnetic signals emitted by all living things. It's a sense usually found in sharks and rays, but the echidna may be the only land mammal that has the ability to search for food this way. She's uncovered a colony of ants and uses her long, sticky tongue to slurp them up. The pitiful beetle is the target of a marksman that stalks the tropics of Asia and Australia. The archer fish, one of the few aquatic predators that can hunt prey outside its element. On average, it grows more than 6 inches long, but it can hit a target over 5 feet away, from tiny bugs to small lizards. It forms a tube with its tongue, then squeezes its gill covers to fire. A jet of water shoots out along the roof of its mouth. By positioning itself directly under its prey, it minimizes the effect of refraction of the water. Anyone who has ever tried to spear a fish knows the surface refracts your aim, but not the archerfish's aim. It can even gauge the weight of the target to calculate how much water to fire. A shot typically packs 10 times the force a bug uses to hold on.
Producing young is just one challenge. Finding food and somewhere to live are further trials fish must face. The Californian coast. A wide range of species live here. But all this life means competition for living space is intense. Old shells are highly prized. And this one is occupied by a sarcastic fringe head. These fish are exceptionally quarrelsome. They have to be to defend their living space. An octopus. Inadvertently, it's wandered into the fringe head's territory, and that can't be tolerated. The octopus's impressive jab holds the fringe head at bay. There is more to this behavior than being bad-tempered. The fringe head needs to defend its patch if it is to get enough to eat, and the octopus was competition. Crabs are not the easiest of mouthfuls. Because of the shortage of living space, there are constant boundary disputes, especially with other fringe heads. And this one has got too close. Despite the most extravagant threats, neither is prepared to back down. Success, and it's quick to get back to its shell. A fringe head can never drop its guard. There's too much competition.
The mudskipper is truly an air-breathing fish. Modified gills work like a simple lung, so he can chase insects on land. His brawny fins enable him to walk, climb, and even leap 2 feet in the air. Though he's equipped to go anywhere, mudskippers have territories, and this guy's trespassing on an adjoining mudflat. His neighbor's not a happy skipper. Challenge accepted. The intruder makes a sucker out of his opponent. The goal isn't to harm, but to scare him into giving up his turf. But the neighbor breaks his hold, rebuffs him, and declares victory. The intruder sulks off into his lair.
She has turned the tree hole into a predator-proof fortress. Nesting is a dangerous time for any bird. The hole in this tree trunk will provide vital protection. Just what she wants. Once settled inside, the female does something truly bizarre. She pulls out her flight feathers. She is not going to need them because she will be staying in here for quite some time. Now her partner brings her a beakful of mud, and she begins to seal herself in. She has turned the tree hole into a predator-proof fortress. But it's also a prison. Her partner, however, is a regular visitor. For the next 2 months, he will deliver all her food directly to her door. Delicious. It may seem that he has been doing all the work, but she too has been fully occupied. The food he has brought has enabled her to produce 2 precious eggs. She will keep them safe for another 6 weeks until the young have grown and fledged. And then both she and they will break out of their confinement. But until then, this devoted couple are going to be very busy indeed.
Nothing compares to the true artist. The female will decide. Spy Puffer's creation is hardly worth a second look. She's after a masterpiece. But for this discerning art critic, there's still room for improvement. Especially when some debris spoils the design. A blemish easily dealt with by the male. But it still needs some finishing touches, such as shells to decorate the ridges. They're more than an artistic flourish. They stabilize the ridges, slowing the water that might stir the center. For this is where the female will lay her eggs. But the male has run out of shells, and the female is losing interest. Spy Puffer becomes the artist's assistant. The finishing touch he needs. All this striving for artistic perfection is a test of his fitness. Satisfied with the aesthetic details, the female enters the nest. They join together, cheek to cheek. Then, quick as a flash, the eggs are laid and fertilized. With a little help from Spy Puffer, the next generation of artists is on its way.
Tuy trọng lượng khá khiêm tốn, chỉ 110 gram, nhưng chim nhàn Bắc Cực là loài có quãng đường di cư dài nhất thế giới. Cuộc di cư bắt đầu vào tháng 9 hàng năm, từ Bắc Cực đến Nam Cực và bay trở lại. Tổng quãng đường dài 71.000 km. Do đó, loài chim này nhìn thấy ánh sáng ban ngày nhiều hơn bất kỳ sinh vật nào khác trên trái đất, đặc biệt là chúng được trải qua 2 mùa hè mỗi năm. Trung bình chim nhàn Bắc Cực sống được 30 năm, tính ra chúng sẽ bay tổng cộng 2,4 triệu km, tương đương với 3 chuyến đi từ trái đất đến mặt trăng và trở về.
Bạn có biết, cá mòi cũng có một chiếc đồng hồ sinh học chính xác, giống với đồng hồ sinh học của cá hồi ở phương Tây. Trứng cá mòi nở ra ở nước ngọt, cá con lớn lên theo dặm dài sông suối chảy ra biển cả, để tới khi xuân về, mùa sinh sản tới, chúng lại ngược dòng về đúng nơi mình sinh ra để làm công việc bổn phận của chúng là sinh sản. Người ta gọi đó là cuộc di cư vĩ đại của những chú cá mòi. Hàng triệu chú cá mòi lóng lánh ánh bạc, cùng lấy nhau tạo nên những màn khiêu vũ tuyệt đẹp, đồng đều với nhiều hình thù khác nhau trong lòng đại dương. Chúng đông tới mức che hết ánh nắng mặt trời biến ngày thành đêm. Số lượng cá mòi đông tới nỗi không ai có thể biết chính xác có bao nhiêu con tham gia chuyến di cư như thế này, nhưng người ta ước tính đàn cá dài tận 15 km, rộng 3,5 km và sâu đến 40 m. Hành trình của những đàn cá khổng lồ này lớn đến nỗi có thể nhìn thấy được từ vệ tinh. Việc di cư thành đàn khổng lồ như vậy, tuy cũng tạo ra sự chú ý với những loài săn mồi như cá heo, chim ó và cả con người với những công cụ đánh bắt hiện đại, nhưng cũng giúp chúng không thể bị ăn thịt và đánh bắt đến mức tuyệt giống được.
California two-spot octopus is on the petite side. At just up to 1.5 feet, He's a tasty morsel for hungry seals or ravenous moray eels. Today, he's on the hunt, looking for shellfish. But Octopus has stumbled onto a shellfish of the wrong kind. California mantis shrimp. Octopus's cousins should have warned him. Mantis here is no shrimp, even if he looks like one. Like others in his family, he's great at attack. But he's also formidable at defense. Octopus, however, gives chase, following what he thinks is an easy meal. It's a big mistake. Once in his burrow, Mantis takes a stance and transforms into a warrior. Called a Merrill spread, it's a warning to Octopus to back off. But Octopus is not buying it. Octopus isn't using any of his 9 brains, and Mantis has had enough. He pulls up his hammer claws and goes into attack. His claws hit Octopus with the speed and force of a bullet. Octopus reels. Nobody told him about those claws. Mantis delivers another punch with a force almost as strong as the crushing jaws of an African lion. Octopus retreats, but Mantis is only just getting started. This time, it's a bullseye, right between the eyes. Mantis gets ready for another round. But Octopus can't take it anymore. He heads off to find some real shrimp. A final Merrill spread reminds him, never judge a creature by its looks again.
The very word makes the fish seem helpless and confused. And that's just what they want you to think. Their thin bodies and camouflaged scales help them look like the seabed. The flounder hides under a thin covering of sand. Only its eyes peek out. Strangely enough, when a flounder is born, its eyes are on either side of its body. As it matures, one eye migrates to the other side, giving it the characteristic flat shape that allows it to hide so well. This osprey senses an easy snack. The flounder attempts to disguise itself again, but the sands are too sparse and the water too shallow. The eater is eaten, and the cycle of life continues. While other, better disguised flounder live on.
300 million years of reptile evolution has created some very weird body parts. But when it comes to defense, one species has an eye on the prize for weirdest. The horned lizard has 3 ingenious ways of dealing with predators. Its jagged body provides perfect camouflage against keen-eyed aerial hunters. But this raider hunts by smell, not sight. Spiny armor isn't enough to deter a hungry snake. So the 5-inch lizard puffs up its body to almost double its size.
This is a great defense. First of all, because when they puff up, it makes them look more intimidating. And secondly, if this snake tries to eat this lizard, it's going to get a mouthful of spikes.
After puffing itself up, the lizard literally flips out. These crazy moves are more than enough to freak this enemy out. But doing a turn as a fat breakdancer won't work on something as big as Fido here. When faced with something over 10,000 times heavier than itself, this spunky critter doesn't run or hide. It unleashes one of the weirdest defensive body parts on the planet. It's all in the eyes.
As someone who studies lizards, this surprises even me. The way the lizards do this is by reducing blood flow out of the head and allowing blood pressure to build up in the vessels all over its face. And at a certain point, the blood pressure in small vessels in the lizard's eye build up so much that they burst, allowing a stream of blood to shoot out.
This weird weapon can shoot a stream of blood up to 5 feet into the air, averaging around 10 times in succession.
I haven't heard of anything else in nature that can do this, and this is weird. Not only can the lizard control when that blood shoots out, they can also shift their eye muscles to control the direction of where that stream goes.
Dogs will eat almost anything, but a mouthful of lizard blood is too much for this one.
This dog is running away because its behavior is not just projectile warfare, it's chemical warfare. That fluid is especially repugnant to dogs.
This really is a case of getting the evil eye.